Salute, 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 everybody. Welcome to Miss Parker. Miss Parker, I appreciate you guys for pulling up with me on this Good Friday. So happy Friday to everybody out there. I hope y'all got the kids settled. They wound down. You got your food ordered or cooked. Just kick your feet up, drink your wine, drink your juice. I got my juice. I'm on juice tonight. Or whatever. Still in my chronic era, but just with juice. Tonight I said I'm gonna take it easy this weekend. Just trying to embrace, chill, relax, and things like that. Hey Barbie, what's going on? Hey girl, hey. Thank you, Capricorn. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, research, and educational purposes. And things that said in this video is where it started for me. And where it started for me was by way of Mark D blogging about it. Me coming across the story in this live. And then comes along other content creators. And it was very captivating. And once you listened to this live, you was totally attached if you was hearing what I was hearing. Because this is where it started, here at Mark D's. Characters came out, meaning the family members. They was there. We got all kind of characters that came out along the way of this case. It's been one hell of a bumpy ride, okay? But every time you turned and you thought you was going in the right direction, something else, then something else, then the transcripts. It was like the preliminaries, but looking at it on paper was like, what? So, what about this? What about that? It had question after question, after question after question, till where a lot of people was like, I give up. I'll wait. And it was like, just when you think you know, you don't. Because the beginning goes to say, was there really ever a chance? Because when you hear this video, it makes you say, was there ever a chance for Naziah? Because putting our differences to the side right now to talk honestly tonight about this young lady who's been missing for 2 years today, that was never taken serious. Yes, they did searches underwater. Yes, they did stuff, but it was like the realistic, it was other ways, other things that they could have did to me. Search their grandmothers. Everybody is a suspect type of thing. Everybody in that house. Kids should have been taken immediately. Like, it was almost like you was watching something that wasn't real. You had to really adapt to this. And whether it was in a negative light, positive light the whole time, it was a lot of adapting. How we think normally versus what was really going on. This nest that this baby had been born into was already spoiled. Not just when Jarvis came in the picture, we're going to find out through this video with Mark D. And it woke everybody up to wait, who's this guy? Who's the autistic guy? So way before Jarvis, it was still questions. Who's this guy? Who's this man? The shop. But it was owned by this man. Why hasn't he been questioned? The 40 years of CPS, why did, who's the worker? because it was always a beginning. Yes, things happened down the road, but it was a beginning. I'm gonna give you guys a beginning clip. Oh, let me finish my shout outs and then we'll get to it. Hey Deshaun, I seen you. Hey, Miss Low Key, what's going on? Pooh Love, Miss Cheeks, Kenyatta, what's going on? Miss Willis, Samad, Janice, what's going on? Drea, Jamia, what's going on? What is going on? Angelise Morgan, Marie, what's going on, Marie? Hey, girl. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Chucky. What it do, Chucky? What up, Soft Cookie? What's going on? Hey, Rhapsody. Hey, girl. Hey, Valerie, girl. Hey, Royal Queen. What it do, sister? Devil in Disguise. What's going on? How you been? Hey, Big Mama Pooh. What's going on? How you been? Hey, Angel. How's everybody doing out there? How y'all doing? Yvette Stewart, what's going on? Hey, Dale. Hey, Juju on the beat. Hey, BB, what's going on? Miss Jazzy, what's going on? Big Mama, what's going on? Hey, Kiki, what's going on, boo? Hey, Erica, baby. Hey, Karen B, what's going on? She didn't stand a chance with them evil spirit demons. Not a chance. Hey, Sharon, what's going on, love? The Life of Mines, what's going on, sister? What's going on? Capricorn, what it do, sister? She didn't stand a chance. What up, Rose? Hey, thank you, Rose. Hey, TC, what up, bro? Hey, Veronica. What's going on, sister? Yes, so many questions. Hi, Bridget, baby. Over there on a good Twitchy Twitch. Hey, Latasha Boss Lady, what's going on? Pink Butterfly, what it do? Hey. Veronica said I'm cooking red beans and rice. Okay. I pray that they get charged right. I don't give a fuck. Yes. Hey, LaDonna, what's going on? Hey, Tracy Ann, what's going on, babies? Hey, Ruth, girl. Hey, Gail. Demetrius, what's going on? Natasha, what it do? Hey, Riddle, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, Shanita. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Nisha, what's going on? Takara, baby. TT. All right, we good. Let's get into this clip because, like I was saying, it was always a beginning. Always a beginning. Let's start here.
Right now, Jarvis Butts is awaiting trial for the murder and sexual abuse of Naziah Harris.
After listening to days of testimony last month, a judge called Butts a monster and said that opportunities to protect the 13-year-old girl were missed. Tonight, the 7 investigators are revealing years of warnings that preceded Butts' alleged crimes.
Warnings that family members say were made to Children's Protective Services that could have saved Naziah's life. Here's what 7 investigator Ross Jones has uncovered.
You look at that face, and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was concealing.
Years before Jarvis Butts would be charged by Wayne County's prosecutor, accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Naziah Harris, Harris's own relatives say they saw the warning signs and told anyone who would listen.
So that at that point, I was like, this is too much. I'm calling CPS.
I tried not just once, but multiple times for them to take me serious in what I was saying.
Kiwana Morton and her cousin Jernell are both relatives of Naziah Harris. In February of 2022, Jernell says she learned of allegations of improper touching involving Butts and other small children. She says she was told about the claims while talking to her niece, Jarvis Butts' girlfriend, and that the alleged victims were Naziah Harris and 2 other children.
I was just like, oh my God, I was not crazy. This needs to be looked into.
She says she took the claim seriously in part because Butts was on the sex offender registry, having spent more than 8 years in prison for third-degree criminal sexual conduct. She didn't alert authorities at first because she believed her niece would notify police. But weeks later, Jernell did notify Child Protective Services. Her complaint came in on April 13, 2022. There was an incident at a birthday party, the complaint reads. One of the children that attended the party accused Jarvis of sexual abuse. Naziah, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched both of them inappropriately as well. Jarvis touched, name withheld, in her private area, and it hurt. Jernell made the complaint over the phone.
They basically told me if they needed me for anything else, they would reach out.
The next day, Jernell would receive a text from her niece, Butts' girlfriend, confirming that CPS had contacted her. CPS called me, the text reads. They called about the well-being of my kids. Then they called back to get Jarvis info. A CPS spokeswoman would not tell 7 News Detroit if investigators ever questioned Neziah Harris after receiving the complaint. But we do know it wasn't the only complaint filed with CPS naming Jarvis Butts.
And it wasn't easy for me to call Protective Services just because of the horror stories that you hear.
Kawana Morton said she heard about the same allegations against Butts from a conversation with his girlfriend. 2 months after her cousins called to CPS, she would file her own complaint.
I told them that there's a problem and they need to be aware of it. I am 90% sure that there's sexual abuse going on within the home.
Did you specifically mention Jarvis by name?
Yes, absolutely.
Internal CPS records we obtained show that investigators looked into that complaint, conducting a face-to-face interview with Butts, who strongly denied the allegation. A forensic interview was conducted with the alleged victim, and no disclosures were made. CPS said the home was clean and free of observed safety concerns. The allegation was denied, assigned a low-risk level. These are 2 complaints of at least 5 filed with CPS since 2015 naming Jarvis Butts. They allege concerns about possible molestation, physical abuse, or living conditions. Some of the complaints are generic, and none would ultimately substantiate that Butts was improperly touching children. Just over a year after the last complaint on record, Butts would be charged with sexually assaulting and murdering Neziah Harris.
I'm brokenhearted because this could have been prevented. All of it could have been prevented.
Attorneys for Jarvis Butts declined comment for this story.
In the beginning, thank you, Valerie. Thank you for those 5 gifted memberships. If you got those green jackets from Valerie, please tell sis. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that so much. Hey, Unique, what's going on, baby? Okay. Chuck says she lied the whole time. Hey, Intentionally, what's going on? Happy Friday. Thank you, Intentionally. Hey, Evelyn Gentry, what's going on? Unavailable, what's happening? Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you so much. That's some nasty work, bro, and they still set him free. Hey, Deborah, what's going on? Made me cry all over again. And it does. Because not only did Kiwana and Janelle complain, he went back all the way to 2015. Now, if they can get this, remember, once they went and made their complaints, they are in front of the news station. They go back, he's got complaints as far as 2015. Almost 10 years. But 9 to the date of Neziah, he goes back 9 years of being this monster when it comes to children. And I thought, who was on this man's case? One always has to ask the question, who was the person on this case? For 9 years, complaint after complaint coming through and nothing. Then y'all asking him, y'all seen it in the complaint and said they talked to him and he denied all the claims. Absolutely, Morgan. She said, I hate how slouchy Shannon didn't have her kids taken immediately. I agree. But after we do stories about CPS, it still puts you in a damn if you don't, damn if you do situation. The more I talk about CPS, the more I hate them. Because the kids always end up in worse shape than, it's like, what, how do we weigh that out? Is there a solution to the family? Working this out versus putting them in the system, splitting them all up. Somebody might be worse there. She said, we need the beginning because the end is going to be justice for our baby. And Jarvis needs to get the hammer, and really, it should be a package deal with Shannon and them. Hey Jenny, what's going on? Happy Friday. Hey Honey 5K, what's going on? You on time. Deborah, Corey, what's going on, Corey Boo? Happy Friday, girl. So you go back, we got 2015. Reports have been made. Kids are scared so for the fact that they didn't even take into consideration then, because the CPS is there to protect. But this is another black family overlooked. The safety of the children was overlooked. 2015. And you think about all the kids in from that time up until then, that police brother probably was able to keep things under wraps. We never got a full story on him, and then he was an officer. CPS is a horrible organization, no cap. Yeah. I mean, good points. Good points. It was a lot of unanswered questions. And as much as I know now, like, you gotta be patient for stuff, and it's hard. Because once it's presented, you gotta think, what? So, what about this? What about, we got video after video coming out? Minds are swirling, minds are racing. Justice for Quintani, they switched the trial date to start Monday and asked all of us not to present him with t-shirts or pins of Quintani for a fair trial. Wow. Not to represent him. That's crazy. Prayers for Quintani, the father, and you self-made, praying for y'all, okay? His dad shared the details on his IG. Send it to me, self-made, please. Hey CRS, happy Friday, sister. Thank you, Rhapsody. Thank you. Basically the brother of CO, yes. So now I want to get to the beginning. And again, y'all, it was a lot of characters. We don't forget Lemon Drop Gate came and dropped a bombshell. She comes through like a wrecking ball. No shit. Lemon Drop Gate, when Cash hit this board after everything we think we done got, here come Lemon Drop Gate. And we trying to dissect the video. She was comfortable walking up to the car. You think she know? I don't know. Our heads are swirling with Lemon Drop Gate. More unanswered questions. Like, wait, is it gonna be another video? Another dead end. Another dead end. She said my girl going through fighting this racing magistrate, took her 2 daughters she has raised all their life, gave temporary custody to the father on false allegations, all because he's not trying to pay child support. That's crazy, Corey. Praying for her. Man, that's crazy. Now all of her videos are taken down. Absolutely. Thank you, Samad. Thank you. Hey, Lady Redbird. Hey, Sherry. What's going on? Hey, Betty. Happy Friday, sisters. So, boom. Then we have the evangelist. Then we have Kenneth. Then we have one of Jarvis's daughter's friends that hit the board. I talked to Jarvis's daughter's auntie on her mom's side. I ended it. I deaded it immediately. And already had the other friends and everything ready to set up, but it was certain moments in it I understood. I had to sympathize in certain parts. Certain parts I still should have sympathized and empathized, but shit happened. Because the only thing, really, it was always where's she at? What happened to this baby? One can only think after hearing text messages. You're like, it's not real. This is not real. And then you hear more preliminaries, more lies. Because don't forget, after this live is when everybody came on board. The main characters. You had Shannon. You had Devin. Hey, Time Work. Florentino called in. Roxy hit the board. Kenya hit the board. At this time, we didn't know the significance of everything. We heard a family go back and forth. We see Shannon trolling in the chat to where Kenya's like, well, you bet you need to call in and show niece. You just down in the chat like ain't. And a lot of shit happened. Remember, Tamara called in because Shannon said she never talked to her. It was a lot of shit that happened that raised so many more questions and speculations. Because I'll never forget when Devin told Mark D that Shannon knows everything that happened. The energy that changed in the room, because remember, Shannon and Devin were sitting next to each other. They were so hyped up at first. But when Devin got to talking too much, the energy in the room changed. And one thing about Mark D's big-eyed ass, he didn't miss a moment. He didn't he caught everything. And I'm not, my mind span, and at that time I didn't know that it's motherfucker here is the real deal with this. When's the next live? I'm searching for parts. Where's part? I need this. Because a lot of stuff happened on his platform that stands today with a question mark. We got the prosecutor coming forward saying we got everybody, there's no more arrests. We got everybody. Only to come back down the line and say others will be prosecuted down the line. Well, how long you get to get your affairs in order for something like this? How long do you really get to get your affairs in order before you just, you know what I'm saying? You get charged with something. This case leaves you with more questions than answers, and it makes me sick to my stomach. It does, Miss Cheeks. I agree. She said all these cases are crazy. They are. Hey, Passion B, happy Friday, sis. The entire case was mishandled, in my opinion. And it's just things that I could have worded different, like with the shoes being found. To me, it's contaminated. We don't need them showing people off like, here, y'all messing up the case, shoe. Stop, don't do it again. Or it's going to be trouble. Because a lot of stuff, to me, reading it, is just like reading a book. It's like reading a mystery book and you like, but why did you not take everything? Like, grab all the shit. Like, girl. Saying that nobody knew in the DPD when Christopher James knew, because Officer Gardner asked him to retrieve some things. Once it gets out of her hands and gets into somebody at DPD, somebody in the DPD knows. Further down the road, you'll see where Officer Wolf says he didn't write shit down. He was retiring the next day. He wrote it down, but he didn't. I mean, I've never seen invisibility like this in real life. I was imagining, what does an invisible notepad and pencil, how do you know that it's in your hand? because you took notes, but you didn't write down witness names and what? So what was the job? What really consists of that job? Going to the preliminary, nobody had notes. I thought going in, you had to study the case, like you had to really, you know what I'm saying, go over, you know what I'm saying, the case. Not talk about it with outsiders, but it was just like, it all started making you raise more questions. It started making you say, who is Kim Worthy cool with? Follow the money. Now we back to square one. We back here, we back there, we back everywhere. We dead end. Then you had the little Nova girl come out. I seen Nasiah. That makes you got more questions. Now we back on another road that went to a dead end. We have a press conference. A couple weeks before Mark D did this live. And a year after all of this, the preliminary where a grandmother and an auntie sit in front of us, and the judge had to say what we was thinking, because we're not there, we're just watching. We're watching. Nobody cried, and Annette disconnected herself from being anything to Nasiah but a care provider. Remember, she calls her glamorous, but the family, her family calls her to the. If y'all didn't see the disconnection then, it was like, damn, y'all just. We got Annette saying she took her to school to further down the line look at paperwork that Kim Worthy printed up and said she caught the bus. More questions. Now we're back down this road. We have somebody that worked in the shop. We got his baby mama's sister involved. We had a lot of stuff happen that just said, I got more questions. I got more questions. Ray Charles can see the BS in this case. Yes, CPS and her family felt her. Yes. No remorse. Because, you know, we thinking we great see everybody. We great see CPS workers. Is she going to testify? Or is she going to be protected? Is he or she going to be protected? Or they have to come forward and say, why 9 years ago? What was the findings 9 years ago? What was the findings? To where Jarvis was able to build up a Never Never Land of his own. Allegedly. Everybody dropped the ball. Because the school ain't off the hook. Because don't forget, further down the line, we're going to see where the grandmother called the daddy who had been absent. That didn't raise hairs on y'all skin and make you be like, when you heard him tell his story. Now, we all had different views about that. We had different views about Jarvis' sister. Remember, she's in the story too. And don't forget, baby mamas and fiancés. And who knows what's to come on the 23rd of January. With something that can finally connect the dots for Nasiah and the other victims. of why he's feeling so comfortable right now. To feel like they don't got nothing on me. It should have been put in order to me. And my opinion, always was why put all these cases together. You know? Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Why put all the cases together? Because it didn't have nothing to do with Naziah and her unborn child. The family members, yes. But not the other cases. Yes, they all had similarities. Where they was all victims. She said, Passion said, I'm surprised we haven't heard anything else from Jarvis' sister. She went off the grid. Hey, Ellen. Happy New Year's, baby. Happy Friday. Nice seeing you. Yeah, she went off the grid. Because, you know, Naziah, man, her story touched the world. Guns was blazing for everybody. Till now, guns are still blazing. Once you heard her story, man, you just pointing fingers at everybody, everything, anything moving around her, you just pointing. You. And I had to really take myself out of that for a minute, because I was losing focus on, man, how bad did it really get? She definitely did. Hey, Ronan Bougie, Happy New Year's, baby. Nice seeing you. Like, how bad did this baby really have it? And from stories down the line from the beginning, it made you feel worse and worse and worse and worse. Hey, Annie. Happy Friday, sis. So let's get into the beginning. I'm so stunned that we have yet to hear from Lady. Roxy did that live with her, and she said what she said. And, you know, that was always a thing, too. You know, even within myself, like, judging and not recognizing that and remembering that she was a victim herself. And as easy as it is for not being a victim and understanding, I get it. But with me being an addict and a victim, I get it. Everybody's dealing with their own battles and their own fights. We really don't really know how that affected her to this day. We don't. We don't know what she's battling. Thinking that she wasn't there. Thinking the kid in her that always wanted a mother's love herself at one point. That little girl still forever lives inside of you. With all their lies and amnesia. Some of them was said. Yeah. For real, Kirby. Yes, Sherry. Yes. Let's get into this, guys. 40 years of CPS.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Mark D, man, and I'm back. I know it's been a while since y'all seen me go live from the studio on my personal page. But yeah, man, this one calls for a special broadcast today.
Corey, real quick. I like what Corey said. She said, but I still want to know how she had her phone. And Corey, that is one question that I do have. Like, will that be asked? Like, you know, you just got your set of questions. Now I'm ready for trial. After hearing what I heard, reading what I read, you know, I'm ready for the trial. Because it's so much. That's why I would definitely want my voice to be heard. If not for me, but definitely for my baby. Yes, so true. And I get that, Miss Cheeks. But in life, it's always two sides. And every person has their own story. And maybe down the line, we don't know if Lady will ever be able to come out and tell her story once everything is said and done. Do she feel safe to come out? Probably not. Probably not. Because we're going to be biased. We're going to take the mommy and the little girl that still suffers from her mother's husband's trauma, who never got therapy, was only supposed to live now what's called a normal life when their normal was not our normal. What's going on, Kippy? Happy Friday. And I don't think a lot of us still realize that their normal was never our normal. That's why we was over batting our brains late night trying to figure out who knew what, who all touched, who all's responsible. We looking up Jarvis's charges. We got victims talking. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. There could be more to Lady's story than we know. Absolutely. Although I don't feel like she's still here, but okay, Annie, thank you. Thank you, TT. Thank you, Kenyatta, for being a member for 8 months. So ready for the trial. This is one that's going to have everybody up out their seats. I think once this preliminary happens, that it's going to knock us off our feet. And you don't know, again, we don't know what Naziah's story will do for Lady. Lady has one hell of a book. She has one hell of a bestseller to sell the world. Would it end this generational curse? Probably. I think Lady could be the end of that generational curse. Only just keeping her faith and just got to pray for people sometimes to figure it out. Get it together. We pray that she gets it together one day to tell her story. So we won't guesstimate. We won't try to keep digging. But she has that her own safe space. Because is this good for her? No. I can't focus on them, but this has been traumatic for her and us all. Right. My brother is stationed in Germany. My sister-in-law heard about this case. Wow. She said, you're welcome. My pleasure. Hey, boom, boom. What's going on, Belinda? What's going on? Happy Friday, sis. You look, thank you. Thank you, Annie. I'm feeling, she said, I'm feeling real easy overall with everything that's been going on. Honestly, I'm like Dorothy Lion, Tigers and Birds. Oh my. What up, Creamin' baby? What it do? Happy Friday, sis. And y'all make sure y'all drop Creamin' in the mix link. Cream, drop y'all link. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Cream. She does go live sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I hope she gets back into it this year or whatever, get back on the board. But I get work in life, you know what I'm saying? But tune into her, okay? She said, I'm not sure that she doesn't know what happened to her baby. And she said, that's why I want to hear from her. Everyone is speaking for her, but I want to hear her words and not the family's version. Praying for the family that occurred. Absolutely, Miss Cheeks. And that's all I'm saying on here. Having, thank you, TT, having a life that we or a lot of people didn't come from is not easy for us to understand. Even with me being a victim of sexual assault, I still didn't understand. Knowing I was there. I was just, 3 years ago, telling my mother and my father with Shank Rock. And look how old I was. Now we got that. I had therapy though, and the therapy came from my drug abuse. So I've had therapy. Lady didn't have therapy. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Hey, Barn Dog, what's going on? Happy Friday. Lady grew up with this being the normal. The assault trickled down to another family member. We are creeped out about it, yes. But are we understanding the dynamic of this situation? Now this went from your mother didn't protect you, she didn't protect your child. And your child's missing. The only thing I judge Lady on is why she didn't fight for her daughter. It's like the see no evil monkey and she just let it go. And I get everybody's feelings about it. I do. But like I said, for me, sitting back on it and stuff like that, I was judging her when I didn't have that right. But I had to understand her side too. Everybody's sexual assault isn't the same. We wonder why some people have the voice to come out and we judge those. Like, oh, she's telling it and she's so comfortable. When we don't know at that moment what God got on her brain to make her do. But her daughter's gone. And the same thing that her mother allowed to happen to her, she allowed it to happen to her child. Question always comes to our mind is, how does generational curses keep happening? How's it overlooked? I know Lady has to be heard and praying for. I get it, but when you're on drugs, it's a whole other demon. Yes, it is. I've been missing you too, Belinda. Nice seeing you. But let's get into this video and break it down.
Hey, man, a lot of people has been asking me what I know about this 14-year-old girl, Naziah Harris, since the post that I've been made. And this post has been bothering me just because, like I said in my live, if you was watching me in the car just a second ago, when I was giving my pregame about this situation, I mean, this situation kind of touched home for me because I feel like, CPS and DPD or the authorities that may be are currently failing me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I feel like, this is something that's passionate for me to talk. This is something important for me to talk about. Because like I said in the car, it's a lot of situations like this that gets overlooked in the city or in our communities, period. When we all see the red flags, long before the tragedies happen, right? And when they do happen, we always talk about what we can do to stop this, what we can do to prevent this, what we can do to, keep this type of stuff from happening. And I believe that it's about being proactive as opposed to reactive, right? Responding to the things that we see when we see them, and not giving people the benefit of the doubt. When people say I'm giving someone or something the benefit of the doubt, in my mind, that's a pretty way of saying that I'm ignoring the red flags.
And I like when Mark D pointed that out because, too, I know a lot of us have seen, whether it be our sister or cousin that live in filthy conditions, something that we just turned a blind eye to. I know I'm not the only one that has been through it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sister. I'm being honest. We have all had a nasty cousin. Somebody had a nasty friend, something that we never reported. Whether the kid survived or however it did, we have all overlooked some stuff. It could be harassment at work, anything. Most of us have overlooked things that we should have spoke up about. It could have made a difference. Whether it turned out to us the best to their abilities, but it could have turned out a lot different. And sometimes it's hard. Now it's hard. Hey, Kiwana. Somebody said facts. I'm just saying it's hard because all the horror stories of CPS. So now our hearts really gotta be compassionate? Do you take that child in? Do you make something work out? Do we already have a plan set in motion for when we do this or when I do this? Versus they gonna run my background, I ain't gonna be able to get shit. Now, you know what I'm saying? The family's gonna come in. I don't report like she said, for sure I'm so guilty. Okay, Kern B? She said, facts, Miss Parker perfectly said. And I'm just being honest. But I just wanted to point that out because this case has really opened up a lot of people to tell their story. It really did. Black women, white women, all ethnicities started coming out talking about sexual abuse. We hear that more so much now. People being comfortable on Facebook to tell their story. Years of abuse, some being impregnated. Being a survivor. The difference with Naziah, she's not here to tell her side. And that's what makes it harder to deal with.
Right. And when you do that for so long, you end up in situations like this. You know what I mean? Where we have this young sister, Naziah Harris, who has been missing for over a month now. And, you know, due to multiple failures in multiple different systems, you know, we have the results that we have right now. You know what I'm saying? So just to start it off, man, you know, I don't talk about things unless I feel like that they are from a valuable source of information. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be somebody that I know that's close to the situation, or sometimes just off of my own observation, putting pieces together from what's out there on social media and the news or whatnot, right? This time it's more so like me having a direct inside connect to the whole situation that chooses to stay anonymous. You know what I'm saying? I want to make that point clear because a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, where did you get the information from? Who told you this? It was in the circle of the family nucleus, right? Friends and family nucleus that know all about these individuals in the family that has given me information all the way back to the grandmother's CPS history. Right now, on the caption of the video, you see it says 40 years of CPS, and in the van when I was just doing the pregame, I was explaining how I told y'all that I was going to explain exactly how this 14-year-old girl actually is a part of a 40 years of CPS investigations, right? So let's take it back to the grandmother. Let's start with the grandmother, right? The grandmother who we all seen on the press conference on, I guess it was Fox 2 News or whatever channel that we seen it on. The grandmother, all right, has, I believe, 5 kids who've all been removed from her care by CPS. All of her kids ran away. All of her kids ran away when they were younger, okay, including Naziah's mother. Naziah's mother was a runaway, okay? And Naziah's mother actually was found in a crack house, pregnant at the age of 11 years old. Now, this is all information that's coming to me from within the nucleus of the family, okay? The missing girl's mother was found pregnant in the crack house at 11 years old. So let's just start there, you know.
And I always think that story got conflicted too. Hey, your favorite Aquarius, 49 years. That means CPS was working with the abusers at this point. She never should have been able to. Absolutely, Nicole. And I think when they're saying 40 years of CPS, I think the 40 years could have been added on to it, not taken away from Mark D, but just saying it. But I think it was many years of CPS being called with Annette and her children. Why was her children running away? You know, it's the cycle for me. It's the Vari wasn't even alive probably when Annette's kids was running away. You get what I'm saying? And we had Vari come to do his interview, and he stated that he didn't have a life. They didn't get to do normal things. That's how you know that he was growing up in an abnormality, in a household that didn't have our sense of normality. Can't play ball, you can't do this. How do your grandson become the man of the house at such a young age? And you get what I'm saying with grown women. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. And when he's hearing it now from outsiders, because you got to think, Vari has been outside running away, but Vari never had to go back to what was going on really inside a home. Things that he was going through, stuff that he tucked away, trauma and pain that he pushed to the side, feeling like he's getting a breath of fresh air. He's enjoying a normal life. He's trying to fit in as much as possible, meaning put the trauma behind. Not knowing the nest that he was bought into. Per his grandmother. That's so sad. She should have not been responsible for no kids. Them being going on in the Harris family too long. Yes, all I saw was Mark D facing and scared the crap out of me. Go on, Alicia, Nat.
Saying, after understanding that the grandmother had all of her kids removed because they were all runaways for whatever reason. Now, and the point that I want to make right now about the grandmother, right? And
I always wanted them to stick with that too. And it wasn't say, look away from Jarvis, because at that time, you didn't hear Annette or Shannon one time say anything about Jarvis. If you have can you please bring her back? I'm saying names. Can never put the trauma behind. Vari held back a lot on what he went through. Yeah. And you got to understand, again, Nicole, everybody's scared. When you're a kid and you've been brought up in a household like this, you scared. Hey, Lola, happy Friday. You scared. Y'all see none of the kids never mentioned nothing about the birthday party. The incident that Janelle and them reported. The kids never spoke up about that. Now it's coming out that something really did happen at this birthday party. Do we say, dang, why didn't they say something then? Because these are scared children. They was running away because they didn't want no one violating them. Yeah. You don't even know where you're going. You just want to get out. And ladies' possible way of being out was going to drugs. Thinking that would hide that trauma. It would take it all away. Ease the pain. She said they was afraid. She said heartbreaking. Yeah.
Grandmother's kids were running away. When the CPS would be called, the kids would make contact with some other family members or sometimes the police. So the police would write it off as, oh, they just out here being grown. They just, they want to be grown, let them be grown. You know what I mean? So now fast forward to Nazaria's mother, who was found in the crack house at 11 years old, pregnant. Now I don't know which one of the kids she was pregnant with at the time, whether it be.
And remember what Mark D said about this? How he said police is just writing it up, saying that the kids are being grown. And that came out. A lot of people's like, she's grown. A lot of people was in defense of Naziah being grown. Well, she shouldn't have put herself out there like that. Like what? She said, don't know who to trust. Hey, Tootie Scott, what's going on? Don't know who to trust. They didn't know what to do. All right, Alicia, be careful. Hey, Tootie, I'm sorry. That's probably the only way lady can deal with life is drugs. But Annette already know where her soul going. Hey, Alma, what's going on, sis? Understand what you're talking about, because that's how the way we raised it was crazy. It could never become what God wants you to become. Is always what they want you to become. And the number ones that's always want, yeah, Veronica, the person who's supposed to be protecting them was allowing people to violate them. She just turned a blind eye, but she had a tight shift. Ignorant is a choice. Yeah, and it is. But it was a lot of stuff it was a lot of educational stuff to take away from this and to understand a lot from a different side. Not our normal, but you got to kind of put your feet in their shoes to their normal. And will it give you chills and make you think, I can't? You got to. You got to. She said, I always wanted you to become a nurse or something like it, or cop or something. Like, you can never follow your dreams. That's what happened to me, too. I found that she had the same skills as, hey, Netline, what's going on? Happy Friday. A fashion designer. I was shocked because they did the same thing to me, stopped me from going to college because they want to become what they want me to become. This is how the family is. Yeah, a lot of families will do that. That is true, Veronica. It is. It does stem down in family.
Desire or her older brother. So that just lets you know a little bit about the dynamic of the family that this little girl is coming from. Right? First off. So with that being said, we get to Naziah and her brother. Okay. Now, man, I don't even know. It's just so many. It's twists and turns to all of this madness. So I'm trying to go as straight up the line as I can to make all of the sense out of the story. So Naziah, since she was 11 years old, was known by the family to have a relationship with a grown man. Okay, this grown man, for whatever reason, the family didn't implement the consequences on him because he is supposedly autistic.
Let's start there. He's allegedly to be autistic. See, we Jarvis came in with so much going on. This child. The key points kind of get overlooked or forgotten. Thank you, Samad. I remember when he started this case. Yes, and that this baby was already in danger prior to monster butts coming into the nest. The nest was already spoiled from the mother and her mother's husband. That nest was already soiled. The mama leaves the nest for the baby to fend against something that's just not right for her. You know, that's when the enemy comes and finds the nest and just flocks over it. No charges on Annette and Shannon. The way he pulls and slurps off the J kills me. Y'all get what I'm saying? She had already been in a soiled nest. Left, her and her brother, to fend against something that they didn't know. Their mother didn't prepare them for that. She was born into it, yeah. A house full of darkness, secrets. Everybody's fighting demons. Naziah has no understanding the same way her mother didn't. And God knows how many years the abuse went. Nobody knows that with her mother and her mother's husband, how many years that abuse went. To be touched and violated, it's one of the hardest things to cope with. And by somebody that's supposed to be a protector, a father's supposed to protect. He don't have to be your father, but he's the man of that home. When it's a noise, we expect him to get up. Somebody said wicked. Belinda said, I don't care if they was artistic or not. Doesn't give no one a right to violate them. They just didn't care about any of those kids that was having kids so they could be violated by predators. She said, Tracy Ann said generational curses. Absolutely. Absolutely. She said, Miss Parker, I know lady was hurt early in life, but I give her no break. She's guilty. She's still messing her son's life. She felt them. Yeah. And I get it, Kippy, 100%. Hey, your favorite Aquarius. My thing is with that one is like, yes, lady felt her. Lady felt her. But do it give me the right to not have hope for her? Because she, for the sake of her child and herself. Because lady had a story before Naziah had a story. And God only knows what really came with her story. She said, wasn't Jay Nasty already around Naziah when she was about 3 because when he was Shannon and she had her when she was living in her place, she moved back in with it. Absolutely. Absolutely, Corey. The nest, again, that she was born into was already tainted. They probably was being taught it wasn't abuse or nothing was wrong with it. What was going on like so many other children. I agree, Alma. Could have been. I pray lady gets it together. And at 11 years old, how can you be in a relationship at that age? You didn't even know what life is about. Shaking my head, they failed to protect her. Absolutely.
But he is what was told to me, high functioning autistic. So that's the reason why the family never got on his ass about it. Make a long story short. Okay. So on top of that, how can I say this? I mean, a lot of this stuff is already known because I've seen people post in the comments on the stories and news articles and whatnot. On top of that, Naziah was known to do some things that she was not supposed to do on social media. I'll just say that she was, participating in activity that she should not have been at that age on social media. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is crazy. So now we got her brother, right, who was involved in some type of a gang activity. And he supposedly owed some gang members some money. We're getting into the different scenarios of where she could have possibly been now, or what could have possibly happened to her. Her brother was into some type of a beef with some gang cats, some of which that not only did he have beef with, but he owed some money to, and supposedly he had messed around with one of their little sisters. So amidst the beef, the rival gang guy told her brother, or it was the word around it, he said, since you want to mess with people's little sister, I'm going to mess with your little sister.
This was the first one, remember? This is the beginning. The alibis. The alibis. Will this be said at the trial? Will this be brought up? Wasn't this another story in there? Yeah. It may just say, wait, what? He was in a gang. He messed with their little sister. He said, so how was the dude that said, there goes some questions? Based off of what they came up with. Remember, this is what they're telling the detectives at the time. But more so, I was like, damn, y'all throwing your grandson under the... So it made me look at them then. Certain things made me look at them. and say, wait, you threw your grandson under the bus to say that he, you know what I'm saying, created a beef, had a beef. Gotta say he's been around that baby since she was 2. So when Annette said she barely seen any interaction with those two, I called BS. Jarvis was has been touching her. She probably didn't even remember because she was so young. It could be a possibility, you know. He didn't have an age preference. Okay, wasn't positive he was looking at her when she was a taller. He messed with a 4-year-old. I can't wait for his try. Yeah, Lady fell, and Annette fell lady. She struggled with it herself. No counseling to help her deal with her demons. Absolutely. Wasn't this another story? Yes. Video of Mr. trying to hug up on Isaiah. Yes. A lot of stuff came out. She said, lady, get herself together. She can tell it all, get it all out. What she has to lose. She's already lost her soul. Let's go, Kippy. On the replay. Thanks, Queen Rays. Appreciate you. This is so sad. Lies, they were trying to cover it up. I was just about to say Timu Wig was willing to throw her. Yeah, remember this is the first one though. We're going to get into another one. But this is the first one. So yes, questions get raised. When you go back to the beginning, let me see where this started from. Let me hear it. Okay, let me see for myself. And you heard it, and then it makes you think a lot of stuff came out. Because we're going to hear about that phone. Those are questions. Will it show at court that Naziah really had a cell phone? Because don't forget the partner said that she was on the phone. So the phone plays a big part. Whether they got it, how they get it back, if that's the case. What phone was she on when King seen her? She said lies, they were trying to cover it up. Okay, hello, Annette probably let Jarvis spend the night a few times. She was cool with all of that. Tomanisha said too many lies, not enough truth. Every time.
So that was one theory as far as where she could have been, or who could
Then
have
we get to
kidnapped
theory
her
number
off of the
2.
bus or whatnot. The next theory was that her mother actually had a drug debt. She supposedly ran off with a large amount of drugs from somebody's house, whoever she was dealing with on that level. And the individuals actually met with the family. The individuals who she stole the dope from met with the family and told them, hey, the older guy said, you know what, she could come to the house and work off her debt. However they was going to work that out. She can come to the house and work her debt off, and we can call it even. But the younger guy supposedly said, you know what, if I find her, I'm going to kill her. And if I can't find her, I'm going to get to who she loves. Now, the third scenario is...
Let's get to the second one. It never sat well with me. I'm going to tell y'all why. The inconsistencies of... Let me tell y'all something. If a street dude want to take a life, they want some shit to shake, they're not going to tell Annette and Shannon. Yeah, if we find her, we gon' come on, man, and let them live. To identify. I never seen the ignorance of that. I don't believe in that wants lady to get better because she knows all the secrets. In my opinions, I don't think they started getting mad and talking in the beginning. Anella, her brother Gamble touch her. I can F them up. This makes your heart hurt. These babies didn't have a chance. Y'all get what I'm saying? Think about that. The drug dealers is going to tell Annette them, we going to take her. She can come over and clean up, work off her debt. Y'all think real street dudes let you take from them? And they'll take a loss and take a life. I didn't never believe that. The second scenario had nothing, everything to do with the press conference that Annette had talking about. If y'all have her, bring her back. Girl, how many things can be true at once? This sounds like something out of a movie. The dealers, plugs. I know, don't know. Come on, Morgan. They not. They're not. They're gonna come in like a thief in the night. But it was the scenarios that made me look at the grandmother no more. Because still to this day, they've never said Jarvis's name. Hell, they don't say Naziah's. But I had questions, a lot of them. Hey, Miss S. Dot, what's going on? Happy Friday. I had a lot of questions. I was like, that's some shit. But let's get into the third one. Let's get into the third one.
This is the situation that really caused me to feel like this was important to tell everybody about, because this situation was her auntie. This situation is about her auntie's boyfriend. Okay. Her auntie's boyfriend has a sexual assault charge and was investigated by CPS because he allegedly sexually molested Naziah, her auntie's boyfriend, right? Was convicted, I believe. He's on the sex offenders registry list. He's a registered sex offender. Okay. I looked this guy's page up and I have 126 mutual friends with him. A lot of ladies that I know personally. So I said, oh, hell no, I got to tell everybody about this shit, right? Now, the interesting thing about this guy is that when the police started investigating, now we're going to get into all of the loopholes of the police investigation, right? When the police started investigating, they went to the mother. Let's start back with the mother with the investigations. They went to the mother and they said, hey, does Naziah live with you? No, she doesn't. Does she have any social media? No, she doesn't. Do you have a phone for her or a phone number? No, I don't. Okay, so this is the mother talking to the police. So a week after, when she was actually reported, or I don't know if it was a week or this month, a month after, because we know this is a month old. Oh no, it was a week after. It was a week after. So the police started pinging a known phone number for Naziah. The police started pinging a known phone number for Naziah, and they found out that 2 days after she went missing, the phone was cutting on and cutting off. You know what I'm saying? A couple days go by, phone to cut on, and
Man, when Mark said that, it had you spinning. Lisa said, I remember way back listening to this particularly. Yeah, Lisa, it was one for the books. Who's Drea, Kippy? I might have it wrong. Who are you speaking of, Kippy? Mark D. Shaw already knew it was the aunt. Tell me to this day, y'all don't want that to be brought up in the trial. Did she have a phone? What was in her phone? Because King established as well later on down the road that she did have a phone. Where's that phone? At that time, y'all could ping Jarvis's. There's no way possible to ping her number. Oh, okay. Around. He's still around. I think he's still around. Y'all get what I'm saying? And so a lot of stuff raised eyebrows, raised a lot of questions.
cut off. The police pinged the phone back to Naziah's mother's house. So the police come back to the house and say, well, you said she didn't have any social media. We found 4 pages for her on social media.
That didn't raise questions. Who really had the phone? Was it Annette a lady? Was it Annette a lady? We really never got confirmation on that. We really didn't. To just say, lady gave it to, there was never really no confirmation. I've always wanted to hear where she said she had the phone. I've yet to hear that video. So I couldn't say that, but we know for a fact somebody had a phone that was connected to this baby the same way that Shannon went in on a Sunday. I don't know what school work was working on a Sunday, why he or she decided to go to Annette's house on January the 21st, a Sunday. Shout out to one of my moms for bringing that to my attention at the time. Like, she's working on a Sunday and Shannon to open it up and go through it. All them days, Naziah's been gone. Those raise questions. Those raise questions. To be like, well, did she have a phone? And it was a week later, a month later, that they reported her missing, because that's what he said. Naziah had a phone. They never turned it into the police. She definitely should be brought up. I thought Shannon said let Naziah use her other phone as well. Then Roxy say lady had it. That's what I need to see. Was any text messages sent to Jarvis from that phone number? Did they connect that phone number during the preliminary? This is what I thought I heard a long time ago. That's why I want to go back, Corey, to refresh. From now to the trial, I got time to go back through these lives with y'all and refresh on a lot of stuff. They probably gave Lady that phone after they unalived. Shannon had her devices because she was looking on it. Because, come on, even if Lady did retrieve that phone, just saying if, but if Lady did get that phone, was that for them to go with their alibi? Was they getting shit in order already? Could it be? Just asking. Now we got to look at all possibilities. Because I'm speculating at this point. But I can only come up with what, like, if they did give Lady that phone, was it to put her in it without her knowing it? That was my question. Did he mean Annette and not Lady? Right. I always wondered that. We heard a lot about that phone, Corey. You get what I'm saying? But I wanted to hear it out of Roxy's mouth. But I know I heard out of Roxy's mouth, she said she never got anything from Lady. I did hear her say that. But I'm saying, show me where I could hear her say she retrieved the phone from Lady. You know, I work at the school she went to. She was so sweet. I served Miss Edward Deja Reed, Miss Reed. And it's so hard, I know, for y'all too, to hear the kids are missing or anything. She said she worked at the school she went to. She served her breakfast and lunch. She was sweet. And we heard that she was a sweet girl. She said possibly, she said absolutely try to throw them off of them. Yes, Corey. Because don't forget down the line. We're just at the beginning. That we see Shannon going to a DNA the next day. It's a lot of stuff that just happened in this time frame. Don't forget the grandmother went 2 days later to say about a fight that the little girl was in a couple of months before. What? To insinuate that she could have possibility. And these are my thoughts, that little girl could have possibility of harming Naziah. See, that's what you call cleaning up your tracks. You're taking your broom, you're trying to sweep, but you just ain't getting all the right places. You're leaving little spots out. She said, yes, it was getting the alibi together because that phone wasn't turned on until the first week of January. Then it was turned off like a week after she went missing. Lady was said to have been there. I wish I could remember what live I heard it on. Then Shannon said that Naziah would call Jarvis to see if they could work at the shop whose phone Shannon's. They was trying to make it look like she had to make it seem like the person that supposedly, yeah. And I like what you said too, Sherry. Because when you go through the text, I don't just look at the word. I'm trying to figure out the last time she texted and the way that she was in love with him, how it just stopped abruptly. Because in Naziah's mind, she loved him. She thought she loved him. Even though we know at that age she doesn't know what love is. So with the text, it got to me because I'm looking at how October ended it. She said what she said about her clothes, and then she said whatever she said, boom, no more text. Shannon has her call him on what, the 20-something in December? Do you need me? Nothing else that we know of. That we know of. Not saying that they don't have nothing. That we know of. January the 9th. 2 years ago, today, the last text is, are you going to pick me up? Even if you don't come, I'll wait. Even if you don't come, I'll wait. And that was in. But yet we see Neziah getting straight on the bus. She didn't process waiting on Jarvis because she said, even if you don't come, I'll wait at the school. What made her get on that bus and walk? They hadn't talked in months, and that's what she says to him is, you're going to pick me up. Like nothing else. Not no good morning, I miss yous, or nothing. What was crucial from January back to November? Or was it nothing from January 2024 back into November of 2023? Hey, sweet honey, happy Friday, sis. But let's get back into it.
Okay. You said she's not here and you don't have a phone for her, but the phone number we have for her is pinging back to your address. So now all of a sudden the mother, oh, well, I found this. I did have this one phone that I found of hers that I had, and it was me cutting the phone. I was cutting the phone on and cutting the phone off. So the police like, well, you fucking up the investigation now because we trying to find out where this girl is, and we pinging the damn location of the phone, and it's pinging back to the house, and you say she's not here. So
The phone pinging. What made them ping that phone? What made them ping that number to that phone? But you got to ask yourself, was that her? And you know, Candy, that's going to be the only thing they have to fight against is, was that Shannon, with Neziah not being here, being able to tell her story? You know, it's going to be their word versus Shannon's. Shannon's here to tell her story. Shannon's here to tell whatever story she wants. But the truth lies within Neziah. She said probably with Shannon unapologizing answer part. This just makes me so angry. It does. It does. But I just wanted to just say what, you know, we know to us, and I don't take y'all feelings away. If y'all think it was Shannon, if y'all think that was all Neziah's, that's y'all opinion. And y'all have that right to that. They said lady up, they told the police to her mother. Yeah, what made them ping that number? What made them ping that number? Think about it, guys. What made them ping that number? Again, it arises questions. Will that number come up in court at the trial? What made them ping that number? It should. And who got the phone? Where did they ping it to?
the grandmother, right, that we all seen on the press conference, actually was refusing to do the press conference until she was, what I was told, bullied into doing the press conference. They said,
Once I heard that, Once I heard that, I don't think I had any more questions as far as her. I instantly zoomed in on her. If she didn't do it, she had something to do with it. Meaning she knows exactly what happened. She knows, to me, exactly what happened. Even if Jarvis took the plea today, y'all, ain't nothing in the back of my mind still gonna make me say, oh, he did it. It was just all him. I'm not. She said Naziah used that number. She said, what happened to her tablet? Say it. And if y'all go back through the transcripts to go back and listen at the preliminary altogether, however you want to do it, y'all will hear them say they got the school tablet and another tablet. It was 2 tablets. So on that school tablet, I also want to know, is there a text from Naziah to Shannon asking Shannon what is her and Annette doing? Because I don't see a little girl planning on running away, being mistreated by these people, to where she was telling Jarvis she can't wait to get out of the hellhole, was in her words, per the text messages. Why she would give a damn about what they was doing. I think her fighting for their love and attention had kind of slowly drained. Once she got more into Jarvis, it kind of went out the window of anything she wanted from them, because he was giving it to her in a manipulative way. And if Annette didn't mess with Lady, why did she take her to the school with her the next day? Or did Lady even go to the school? Because Shannon didn't say that, though, Pooh Love, remember? Remember, Shannon never mentioned Annette never said Lady. Shannon said Lady. See how they was connecting Lady then? Because it's still 2 different stories. Because Annette said to them she showed the distaste she had for Lady to the court. That she didn't fool with her at all. That family ain't credible. They lied too many times in court already. There should be more charges. She said, I agree. Miss Parker, did Lady get Naziah's hair done on January 6th or the 8th? Monday the 9th was a busy day. Jarvis opened the shop, went to court, fixed cars, pick up cars. And don't forget, they said he checked out of one of the hotels. Kid. Don't forget, Lisa, Detective Lisa said she checked out. He checked out on the 9th. I was like, hot damn, that was a lot of shit going on, man. You got to have superpowers to do all of this shit. It takes forever for me, and I know I ain't as young and hyped up, but shit, to do all of that, I believe that number has a crucial text between Naziah and Jarvis. I do. If it exists. Yes, she definitely knows. Yes, ma'am, you're right. Figuring out this case is like putting 1,000 pieces of puzzles together. The phone number that pinged is key. It is, Passion. In Kenyatta, it is. But when you really when you sit by yourself and look at it, just minus a lot of the characters. Just sticking to the main ones. Shannon and Annette and Jarvis. Minus King for a second. When you listen just to the preliminaries, the disconnection of Annette with Lady and Naziah, Shannon's story not matching Annette's. When they even said Annette said she was standing next to Shannon and said, did Naziah get home yet? Versus Shannon saying the kids came and knocked on the door, her mother was in the car. See, when you listen to that, like, y'all story should match. Cause y'all the last 2 that is all of this interaction happening in front of. Not the cousins. We're being honest. Not Uncle Daddy. We're just talking about them for a second. On the 9th. January 9th, 2024. From then till now, it just a lot of shit makes sense. Shannon counting down days. How she missed them on Valentine's. How she told Mark D, whatever Jarvis did ain't got nothing to do with me. As if this baby was nothing to her. All of them was involved. Remember, Dre said Marquita got a phone call from Shannon and she left to go to her mom's house. Those twins stick together no matter what. Yeah. At this point, we know Marquita knows. Even if she come on here and say she never knew a thing, man, we know she's, come on, man. And they're twins, identical. Not fraternal. If you're a twin, you will probably understand sharing the bond of a twin. They both had conflicting stories. And why no emotions? None. That right there sparked questions. When Judge Sabri ended her closing arguments with what she said was like, shit, girl, when it take a judge to say it, and she said everybody felt her. She included the police department. And don't forget, later down the line, they came and apologized and said they dropped the ball. Duh, goddamn. They said it themselves. They dropped the ball. Look how the quilt have ate the fat off them. The guilt, baby. Hey, you heard me? You heard me? Yep, they the same age, them twins. Monkey see a monkey do. Okay, because my twins wake up for each other and they're just 5, okay? Gil eating them up, that's why they came. She said, maybe that phone originally belonged to the evangelist. He said he had a phone come up missing. But how long was that? You know what I'm saying? Because he never it's a lot of stuff that at the time I'm interviewing him, I'm not thinking of putting timelines on stuff. So that was something that I should have worked on. Some questions that I could have, so to get a timeline. And I hate that I didn't do that with a lot of talking to them and getting timelines. Deborah said, yes, if it's the truth, how you know they're lying? She said, well, we well beyond the last day of the countdown. So she can't comprehend that he's not ever coming home. Yep, even at the press conference, there was no emotions or tears from neither did. Absolutely, Pooh. And it was other stuff she was saying online, Morgan, at that time. Remember, she went and the girl found her on Threads, where she was over mesmerizing. This man that at that time is being said that even if he's still being said to impregnate your niece, and you are hearing all these messages, then when you get to read lines 2 through 10, you're stuttering. I don't know what to think. Yes, you did. We can't forget Marquita hitting the board, saying, you could never call me working at this shop, but your kids was there. You see what I'm saying? Their normal is not our normal. You can't say that, but your children was there. You get what I'm saying? It's like, but then we gotta put our feet in their shoes. In a household that's up like this, is full of this. When Marquita said, I'm not jealous of no 13-year-old. Come on, man. She did. She definitely said, I'm not jealous of a. Where it come from? Where did that come from in that moment? That was that Mark D interview and Marquita. She definitely said that. What made her say that? See what I'm saying? Things that we wouldn't say because we're not thinking on that level. Marquita and Shannon share everything, the good and the bad, even the not the full. Yes, we all know working at the shop was a big lie. Miss Parker, you was putting your thing down. You stacked so many wonderful questions. I'm just saying, down the line, Sherry, like now, with like them bringing up that missing phone, that would be important to me to have built the timeline, is what I'm saying. So you learn from something that you didn't do to do again. Like now I know what to do. I refuse to believe that none of them women or girls in Detroit don't have a scratch of self-esteem. She wasn't, but her sister was. Yeah.
If you don't do the press conference, then there's a possibility that you might be brought in as a suspect. Hence that forced looking, fake tear induced. I don't know what kind of cries those was from a grandmother of a missing teen that's been missing for a month as press conference. So now back to the auntie's boyfriend who was investigated. He was brought in for questioning last month. He was brought in for questioning in January. Right now, he's arrested. He's actually on separate charges now. He's arrested on separate charges. But the police have told the family that they have someone in custody in connection with the missing girl. You know, although his charges are separate, right? Maybe they're holding him to see what they have found, or maybe they found something, because if you've been watching the news like I've been watching the news, you see that the police have conducted a very extensive and expensive search in, I think, 3 different counties now. We've seen them on the news in River Rouge. They searched, I forget what county that is. It's right below Ann Arbor, and some other county that I can't remember right now. So they searched in 3 different places, a vacant field. So now,
And I like how he pointed that out, because y'all got to remember, when Jarvis turned himself in to that last court date that Tashiana said she took him to, he wasn't charged for Naziah. Neither when he had that phone call with King, he was not charged. Because at that time, a lot of us thought that he, you know what I'm saying? That's why he wanted that phone. But he wasn't charged with Naziah. He had not been talked to about Naziah. Matter of fact, he didn't get charged with Naziah, if y'all go look it up, until down further going into the fall, like September, October-ish. So one would make you say, who told them that? Did Marquita say when Mark D? Yeah, Lisa. When Mark D did that interview, was going when he went into Marquita's house and went into that room and said something to them. Yeah, Marquita's like, I'm not jealous of my niece. She said, I can never be jealous of a 13-year-old or something like that. Miss Park, I feel you, but I feel you will be a great detective. Man, I just be wanting to know. Hey, Miss Parker, the blizzard lost my mother. Been trying to navigate without my big. Oh, Michelle, praying for you, baby. I'm so sorry to hear that. Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. He wasn't charged. Okay, it was September. Right, LaDonna. But go back to what he's saying. This, remember when he did this live, it was in February of 2024. When Mark D did this one. We got to remember, they didn't find out. They didn't find out till a month later, after the school cops gave them the information. So somebody was talking, because everything just started taking off. They talked to King, they talked to Tijuana in February, remember? She said, can we acknowledge that Shannon was in a relationship with Jarvis, but he was with everyone else? She was just a woman of convenience. Absolutely. A lot of them was women of convenience. If they had children, it seemed. I I often wondered when Jarvis's daughter testified and said that I knew he was a suspect before they ever said he was. And that never left me when she said that. Because I want to know now, how did she know that he did that? Because she said, I knew he was a suspect. Who was talking, but talking to the wrong people? You get what I'm saying? It shows you the dynamic of this household. What was happening on the inside. Outside plays into this too. Because the family was brought to the board. We can't overlook it. But at the same time, what happened inside the house is what matters. Right, Michelle. Praying for you, baby. So let's get back into it.
But what I'm thinking is that when they had this man arrested, they got his phone and maybe seen some type of a contact between him and Naziah, and pinging his phone, kept watching, tracking the pings to his phone and searching fields in the area where he had possibly been in the last few weeks. So this is the part that I know a lot of people probably not gonna want to hear shit. But from what the family is telling me, the police have told them that it's to the point where they're searching for a body. They're not searching for a little girl.
When he said this, go back. This is the beginning. This is the beginning, y'all. Certain things that Mark D said then, how they know that she's deceased. And remember, if you go back, hey Will, hey bro, if you go back, when Officer Shannon was asked, did you tell Shannon that she was no longer living? Because Shannon said that, Detective Shannon said that Naziah is deceased. She said, I probably didn't put it in those words. Okay, whether you put it in their words or not, why did y'all feel like she was deceased? Y'all just got it. Y'all just got the case. It was already declaring this girl deceased. Well, they don't be on social media. If they have no devices. If they have no devices, somebody kidnaps or do something and leave you with devices to still go on social media or to be able to call someone. Please make it make sense. But that always stood out to me when they said they're no longer looking for a little girl, like as in living, they're looking for a body. This is only 30 days. A little over 40 days when Mark D did this live. This is a month in February. All this information circulating to today, we don't know anything. Somebody was saying something. Something got leaked. But hey, that was just my thoughts, y'all. Right, Sherry? I've been said that. You did kick it.
Now I know that's not what everybody want to hear. Hell, it's not what I want to hear. Now, when everything came out, if some of the things that I said were slightly off or left turn here, right turn there, I don't want y'all coming back saying, oh, you spreading lies and all of that shit. I'm being the citizen journalist that I've always been and giving y'all the information unbiased, uncensored, and uncut, unlike a lot of corporate news stations. And that's what y'all know me for. But I want to ask y'all this. Does the things that I'm saying sound too far-fetched considering the details that we already know and see about this story? Now, again, I am not confirming that she is no longer with us. Don't get, all emotional. I'm telling you the information that I was told the way that I was told it.
And I like that he came behind and said he ain't saying it. He's just saying, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta pay attention. I bet when Mark D looks back now on a lot of shit that's being said to this day, whether it's true or not, whether what I'm saying, he believes it to be true or not, just all the shit he endured. Cause Mark was dead on this case. He did Kiki. I agree. We definitely not gonna forget Kim Worthless. What you think about Jarvis' sister? I don't remember JoJo alleging that Jarvis' sister lived there. I remember JoJo saying she heard voices. She thought she heard voices and things, but I don't remember her ever really saying his sister lived there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put that out there because I don't remember. But she bought a lot of stuff to the board. She bought a lot of good stuff to the board. She bought areas that make us look into that comes to find out the same areas that JoJo was in a decade ago, almost a decade ago, that this was in the same area of a church that her father once went to. And it's just like, it was creepy, but you got questions. You get what I'm saying? But I always felt like Tijuana knew about Jarvis. That's my opinion. She knew about her brother and his activities, to me. And never said nothing. It was just one of those guilt things. Holding it in all these years, never speaking up. Could have saved a little girl. Like, it's a lot of instances that she could have been saved. But to me, it's almost like, damn, like, all these obstacles, all of these characters that was in the way that played a part in her life was almost like, it's hard. I think they're trying to uncover a family pedo ring. This whole interview is pretty much all the evidence they need. He's stating all facts that's been overlooked. Yeah, he did. It was a lot of key details in these lives. You heard me? A lot of stuff. Even going back to Florentino's, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely on Jarvis. He would never in. Yes, he was on their ass. They were a month behind. That's valuable time. Absolutely. Think that's your first 48. Yes, thank you, Candy. She turned the blind eye to address it. I agree. Right, Corey. Right. Baby, Mark B.
So I
ass.
want to show y'all a post from a relative, okay, within the side of the family. And her screen name is on this post. So y'all want to look her up and ask her, right? And I'm sure, and I didn't talk to this lady. This is not the lady that I got the information from. Somebody showed me this as confirmation of everything that's going on. So this is a post from a lady named Kenya.
Want to pause it? I want y'all to look at that date. That was January 12th, 2022. Or 2023, one of those. It's before Naziah goes missing. Can't sweep pedophiles under the rug anymore. It's not okay in that. And a lot of times when we see things like this on Facebook, we'll go through the comments and stuff like, wow, and we'll go past it. We might look more into the story, but we'll read it as a story versus We got a choice to make too. How many people have went past that post, liked it, commented? So that's why I said it was a lot of lessons learned from this and taken from Nazia's case. To even say, if we see something, say something. She said she did for sure. That's why she was like, who was that little girl? Absolutely. She said the life this baby lived was horrible. Everyone around her had to know something. The sister cried because she felt guilty for not doing or saying nothing, not even reporting him, for being around the kids. Mark D was only with his good smoking ass. Girl, that's why I got my camera out trying to smoke. But yeah, you go back into history and look at these dates and look at people that will comment on videos like this, but we won't step up and say nothing like, hey, is there any way I can get in contact with you? Do you have any information? I'll call. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you can remain anonymous. But if you see posts like this, reach out, try to reach out to that person. Not saying we'll get a quick response. We might not ever get a response. But at least I can say I tried to find this person that made this post.
That was made in regards to who is the pedophile, and this whole situation being swept under the rug by the family. The post reads, can't sweep pedophiles under the rug anymore. It's not okay, Annette. Now, if you've been watching the news, I'm quite sure that there's somebody in the audience right now who knows who Annette is without me having to say it. But if you don't, I'll say it. Annette is the grandmother. So if this making this further family say the rumor, mention the grandmother by name, I want y'all to take a good look at this dude right here. This guy's name is Jarvis Butts. Jarvis Butts.
Right.
This is the auntie's boyfriend who was convicted of sexually assaulting Naziah, who's currently incarcerated right now, or should I just say in custody, for unrelated gun charges. Now, this is somebody who's been caught with guns 3 times and only given probation, like unregistered guns, and he keep getting probation.
We can't forget that. The monster, yuck. We can't forget the extent of Jarvis's criminal history. That arose questions. It made you think that who is letting him off? A felon with unregistered guns, back-to-back offenses. And I ain't never seen nobody get probation with a gun. I'm sorry, a pistol. I haven't. And not get back-to-back charges, along with now his history's coming into play. That he had a sexual assault prior to ever coming in contact with Naziah. With the gun charge. Will, you hear me? That whole family, the twins that are the same age, Jarvis and Annette, are all pedophile. But y'all gotta think Mark D was getting more than the DPD. When Mark D went up in Marquita's house, he had it. He could have blew the socks off of this shit. But Mark D's emotions, man. When he asked her, did she like pedophiles, and it came out his mouth, I knew it was over. I knew it was going to go left. Because when he went in that room and we seen two of them, in the stories that came out in that kitchen, that we can't forget. That's why I said it was a lot that we can't overlook, that was said. Kim Worthless was probably getting into it with him, looking sassy, facts. I'm just saying, it was a lot of stuff that happened within this case. And guess what? Questions. People's going to have questions. Did she just say she gave who a pregnancy test? We had Auntie come to the board. And clarify she didn't say Naziah. Now, these are their stories, not ours. We have to remember that. At the end of the day, these people have to live with what they've said. You can't charge me for something I wasn't there for. Everybody had questions when they hear certain things. It happens in all the cases. What kind of person lays down and makes babies with a pedo? Shannon. Who has her story? Who has her story within a story? Y'all see what I'm saying? It's still Naziah's story. But behind her story is stories. Horrific stories. The difference is they're here and can open their mouths and tell the stories. To close this chapter. To end it. It just looks so much worse when it happens like this, and it's no accountability. It's no saying I have a problem. Shannon's not even desperate. She's a monster just like him. Yes, they was spooked. It's a book. Girl, Belinda, you hear me?
What's his Facebook name? Mark, show us his Facebook name so we can look him up and delete him off his page. Delete him off our friends list. Okay. There you go. Because there's a lot of ladies on my friends list that has this guy. And allegedly this man, whoa. Let me get my sound effects ready for this one. Allegedly this man has up to 20 kids. Damn! And the majority of them were conceived with underage women at the time.
Let's stop there. We found that out. That's why I said it was a lot of gems. Now we find out that he has over 20 kids. And that it's a good percentage of them, 95%, that are conceived with underage girls. What up, Sean? Happy Friday. But yet the salamander's locked up, still running game to any woman that will get well for him. And he had the nerve to move Jay on his pin. If she did end up pregnant, I don't think I agree, Michelle. I don't think it would have came out either. I don't think any of this would have came out if Naziah wasn't pregnant. I think it would still be swept up under the rug. Thank you, Kippy. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm just looking at it all together. Everything that's been said. It's been up in the air to speculate. When Uncle Daddy in that video of Naziah came out, questions came out. Speculations was set in our mind. Because all you heard was monster, 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 monster. Nobody was good around these children. Not even friends of a friend was good to be around these kids. This goes to show you never know what is behind the walls of someone's home. You hear me? Intentional. I remember when you review Mark D's videos and they told him to back off. He was messing up the case. I think that he already knew the case solved and was no longer. Yes. Once Mark D and them got them shoes, and Mark D had dropped some gems that's no longer available, y'all. The Jarvis harvesting was epic. Was epic. Mark D also had a video before that one, which was number 10, of Shannon in the mental hospital. And if you ever looked into that story, it's deep, it's sick, it's scary. To know these kids were allowed to go outside high and do whatever they liked and was being essayed in the process. That was their gift of getting to go out in the world where they wasn't safe for us or themselves. And I remember watching it and said I was going to play it for y'all and we was going to talk about it, and I never did. And Mark D's videos are gone. I was like, damn, it was gems in them bitches. How he detailed it. And it happened in Mark D in steps of the video, the number of videos that happened in steps. Because there's no way you could have broke this down in a night. You'd be up for hours. It's too much to take in. It is. It's too much to take in. Some things you can remember, but a lot of stuff you got to be like, huh? Where was that at? I want to hear it. 100% swept under the rug. I think he even touched on some of the boys too, not just the girls. Belinda, who would know? You know, I don't think it was anybody safe. Morgan, if you go to the website, it tells you the total money on his thing. It just doesn't seem to tell who sends it. These women are crazy. Mark D was spot on because they wanted him to back off. Yes, justice for Naziah for sure. This issue is deeper than the rabbit hole, deeper than the ocean, the abyss where monsters live. I agree, Michelle. They not only put their kids in danger with him, but other kids. Why was he allowed his school's father, daughter? Yes. Can't forget that, goddess. You know, like I said, it's so much. One of them girls called you. I do believe they sold them babies or used them for trade. Facts. He definitely has some gems. Kind of going back to goddess. That's what I said with this case. A lot of stuff came into fruition to make you just be like, what the fuck? The school, the father-daughter dances, church, for their secrets, for their way of living to still be habitable in an unnormal kind of way that we'll never understand even when it's over, we'll never understand. Whether they walk on the earth with guilt or whatever, it's who ends this cycle. Because the cycle will never end when you're still lying, not wanting to face the truth. That sometimes we don't put ourselves in position for this to happen. It just happens. But when nobody is speaking on being victimized, it will never end. And who started the cycle must end it. And it ends where it started, is with Shannon. knowing that he was a pedophile and brought him into that home. Kids damn near ain't safe nowhere, Belinda. Child.
They were pregnant, underage girls. A lot of them, not all of them.
Hey, Erica. Yeah, Michelle do.
So again, this is not, as I said in my pregame, this is not exposing the individual. This is not none of that. This is to discuss the failures in our families, in the system, and in our communities where we know it's motherfuckers out there like this, and we don't do nothing about it. Sweep it under the rug and let them live and let them continue to do the thing. This man got 20 fucking kids. It's probably I wouldn't doubt if it's somebody on my friends list that got killed. I got so many followers. It's somebody right now that's probably cool with them. They got a problem with what I'm saying. And what I say to you is that you part of the problem. Because you know motherfuckers like this, and you befriend motherfuckers like this and give them a pass to function in society like they normal. But yeah, that says something about you, don't it? Y'all want to talk to me, man? I want to talk to y'all, man. I'm about to open up the phone line. That's 313-72.
It is 7 Mile Radio, 40 years of CPS. If you want to listen to the call-ins, that was really interesting call-ins. I must say it was a grand show. Tomorrow, I'm doing the second part tomorrow night. We're going to get into when everybody started calling in. A lot of gems was in that video. I stopped looking at certain pieces just being stuck on and put the whole case in there. She said them gems make you wonder how many adults beside the family were really involved. She said, Michelle, exactly. Point blank, the dirty ass FMs in that house knew what was going on. They all lied and told on each other unknowingly in court. There's more to come. Can't believe it's 2 years and still ain't got the person or persons who are responsible for the... Come on, let's go, Kenyatta. I'm really going back and still listening like it's still new to me. Nazia's case is always still fresh. And I tell y'all why, because you never know what you missed. Where you be so involved and engulfed in it, you just don't know what you missed. And you'll miss certain things being said. You'll miss peeping the energy of Devin and Shannon's first interaction versus when Devin really got to talking. Saying Shannon knows everything. You think I'm gonna sit beside you and y'all can't see us. But my friend gonna say I know everything about something that happened to my missing 13-year-old niece. And I'm not gonna look at this motherfucker like... And then Devin had that attitude of, shit, I said what I said. I said what I said, it is what it is. Like, bitch, you mad. It's just, Because remember, it was a him versus her. We're going to hear about it tomorrow. We're going to hear about it. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about her dad. I wanted to always ask, where's his side of the family? Because he gave up on her. Did that mean that y'all turn y'all back to? And it's just questions. Questions that anybody would probably ask when it comes to this case. Like, where was y'all at? What was that phone call from school, because don't forget Mark D did a interview and he talked about how the teacher said that Nazia's head went down. And she came running up to the teacher saying, please don't tell. Only for Annette to make an abrupt call to a man that's absent. I still don't understand why all of them are out of jail. Girl, don't we got questions? What year is the CPS make you wonder how many people and what they took to their grave? Michelle, you heard me? Baby. Because we can't forget that Annette was pregnant at 11. Not Lady, Annette. And don't that make you ask questions? Who abused Annette? See, everybody got a story. Nazia's got a whole foundation. What up, Justice is? Happy Friday. They was playing cleanup. And when I say a foundation, it's all these rooms. Nazia's got a section in this house with a story. Lady has a section on the same foundation with Nazia, her mother, with a story to tell. Her mother's mother, pregnant at 11. Who impregnated her at 11? She's got a section with a story to tell. Shannon has a section on this foundation on Nazia's. This baby's in the middle of all of this darkness. Nazia's in this box around all these rooms full of trauma, abuse of all walks of life, mental, physical, verbal. When Nazia did that TikTok and said how she's ugly or she just didn't feel pretty, and when Janelle and them did their interview and said how they heard that they would call her nappy head and call her names, that video showed that that was true. And it was like her doing fashion and TikTok videos or just videos altogether was her escape. She couldn't tell anybody. She couldn't have friends. If they was, you could go play where, you could see them. As far as being able to stay in other people's homes and, sleepovers, we know that she didn't get to go to the water parks and enjoy life as a girl her age should be. Not sleeping with a older man, getting your nails done. That's supposed to have been something Shannon incorporated. Her mother's not in the home, so you pick up that role as the auntie, but yet a mother cub, you bitch. I couldn't help that. It just came out like it just eats my bones. It's so much stuff that we overlooked that made me cry. We don't truly know how far the generational curse that's it, Miss Gemini. Her life could have been so much, yes. But when you look at this box that she's in, and she's in the middle of all this trauma, all these secrets, all this darkness, tell me, did she have a fighting chance? We ain't even about Uncle Daddy in the home. This is just the aunties, the mother, and the grandmother. Minus all the other characters that came in. Okay? And that's scary. It is. It's deep. We include everybody's everything, and it looks like how they're doing Nazia's case, just a mess. But if you just put her with the main characters, minus Jarvis, Jarvis got his own foundation. Let's not forget. He's got his mother with a section, with a story. We got him in the middle. We got these siblings surrounding him with their own sections. And do they have a story that ain't made it to social media? Because we were so into the hearses, Jarvis has the same thing. He was a kid in the middle. The mama's friend gets pregnant by him. Here she is in her 30s and fucking 40s. See, we always want to just look at that part versus the abuse within all of these characters that I just named. He was still abused, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. He was still abused. And his side of the story, no therapy. Grandmother fighting for custody. She done raised her kids. Now got to step up and raise again. This older woman done fell in love with the kid. The same thing he's dealing out. He was dealt those same cards. With a mother still ain't present on the scene. This is a crazy story. And when these two worlds collided, it crashed. It really did. It just clashed and crashed. Naziah is the ending of the book. Now the world has to figure out whether the beginning of the book started to do that. You have to go back 40 years and find what was destroyed. CPA. Yes, Michelle. Hey, Porge, what's going on, sister? Love you. Happy Friday. Making her own clothes. That baby was going to be very important. She was. She was. But I love how this story has made the other victims come forward and tell their story. Even though y'all are trying to take their voices away. We know. We know. It shows us now how they try to shut our kids down. Take away their voices. So we'll never get the truths, only what they said it out there, like Kim Worthless. Came out being boisterous. There's no other suspects. We have who we got. Only to come back later and contradict herself and say that other people will be charged later down the line. We can't take away the fact that you said you know for a fact that Jarvis Butts is the father of Naziah's baby, which makes people that's been watching and following this case say, I got a question. Prayerfully, a curse is broken. I hope it does. With the ending of the trial, I hope it breaks that curse. Just saying, Sherry. Hey, Natisha, what's going on, baby? Happy New Year's. Happy Friday to you. Pandora box came open and they thought that their secrets were safe. Naziah opened up the Pandora box. Facts. And I agree with that 100%, Belinda. I just, going through the beginning and stuff like that, I want to just take y'all with me to go back and listen to a lot of stuff. Because we done came so far in it, My emotions now are not where they used to be. My thought process of this case ain't what it used to be. It took a lot for me to process this. My good and my bad that I put into this case. Because a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, I don't think about how it could affect a lot of stuff. And if we all here for the same purpose, it should be just that, the purpose, looking at it from what we see. Y'all view is y'all view. I'm not taking it away from nobody. We here to discuss those views. The only positive thing that came out of this is awareness and exposure. Now, only if she gets true justice, that will be satisfying ending. Yes, y'all coming. Hey, y'all coming to speak. Hey, Kiwana, baby. Happy Friday. So what y'all think? Will he take the plea deal? Let's stay there for a second. We praying he don't. I'm more excited and antsy about this. Cause again, you got so many questions. You got so many doubts. So much that's happened that you had to process in a year's time. For me, it's been a year almost since I started covering this. And that's a lot to take in. When I look over there at them 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes of transcripts. And I must say I didn't go through all of them. That opinion, I had me nauseous. But I'm praying that he doesn't. They don't care about her and thought nobody else would either. Little did they know her story was hit all around the world. Nazia's still working on. Yes, because I learned parts I didn't know before. Absolutely, she's working on their ass. Even with the plea deal, he's cooked. This baby touching everyone's heart because she can't let them get away with this anymore. She wants justice for her and all the other kids that's been abused. She said, I truly hope he don't. This case still waits. Yeah, Crow Cotton, happy Friday to you too. It does. She said the opinion was a lot. Yeah, that one, that I still never got to that one. I was like, now how the fuck? And again, when you read it, you get questions. You get to asking yourself, well, now how the fuck? You know what? Man, my brain hurt many a nights. Speculating. Wondering. Paper all over the bed. Shane can't even turn over because I got Sharpies, paper, transcripts over here. I got shit everywhere. Staying up late, headphones in my ear. Listening to lives, going back through interviews. Like, wait. I got questions. I start watching videos on YouTube because thank you, Belinda. The last message haunts me every time. She said, girl, late nights. Couldn't sleep. Anticipating for what was going to come next. And then I don't think we would be ready for what was to come next. Like, we'll be fucked up. Crying. People leaving because they can't take it anymore. Where they was so obsessed in this case. They couldn't sleep for real. And you know when something haunts you, how do y'all think Nazia felt? Do you say yes, I understand. And that's what I want everybody to think about. It's always been about her. If this is all mind-blowing to us, what about the person that had to live it? And we don't get to hear her side of the story. We're only imagining, but she lived it. So did her cousins. So did Vari. And that ain't saying Vari's been touched. But the abuse was in that home. The darkness was in that home. And y'all know when a house is full of secrets, dark secrets, it's different. It's not that when you wake up and you get to thinking about what you're going to do for the day. This is a confined, ran home. No friends. No water park. No carnivals. Nothing. House of horrors, yeah. Not knowing who's going to touch your next that's grown whenever they get the need. Having to accept it regardless the pain, regardless the innocence that's been stolen in these rooms. Naziah is surrounded by stories of people's trauma, remember. She's stuck. She don't have the guts to leave like her brother. Where does she go? Who would take her only have to come back in that same house and endure more? Yes, Stephanie. I'm saying Miss Cheeks. Veronica. It's crazy. Deborah, you heard me? Not even how she was cool. We got them lying. Checking her in. We got them not going and talking to the teacher till October. She don't even recognize that picture. Meaning, could Naziah not had took that picture that day? That led to questions. She had a total different outfit on. Per her. We got questions. Did anybody in the school, did the principal notice? We got questions. Why didn't Officer Wolf write down the kids' names he talked to? Why did he dismiss Naziah's case instead of typing it in and doing his job? We got questions. 123, 2026, complete justice for Naziah. Less justice prevail for them kids involved. We got questions. Kim Worthy, how do you know that's Naziah baby is Jarvis's? We got questions, right? We want to know, is there going to be a doctor that's seen Naziah while she was pregnant at this preliminary? We got questions, right? I know I do. I thought it was normal to express your questions and say, hey, have y'all wondered? And, let me just give y'all my thoughts and let me show y'all this. What y'all think? That's why I like to play Mark D's lives. So y'all can hear it from them. Not from me. I want y'all tomorrow to listen what Shannon said. How Tamara called in and Shannon's story and energy changed again. See, I pay attention to your energy. I pay attention to your voice. I pay attention to all of that. Because it shows me like, you questionable. That school bus picture looked like a younger picture of Naziah. Sherry, I got questions about the picture. She said, because it keep repeating itself, family history. Right, Veronica. Right, because she stated in the text message she had to go to the doctor and she was seeing how the fuck the... Come on, Lola. We got questions. See, that's what I was looking at in these cases, like the medical. We can't let the hospital slip. We can't let, if somebody possibly seen this baby while she was pregnant and didn't report it, we can't let that slide. We had the lunch lady say you could tell she was pregnant. We had one say that you couldn't tell. Why was nothing said by the principal or superintendent? Did even think about the statement? Nothing happens. This isn't where I may get older and avenge your sister. Yeah. Transparency is needed when they swear to serve and protect and did not protect Nasiah. We need answers. Like I said, more questions than answers. I'm a Gemini, and if your energy off is yeah. But thank y'all so much for pulling up. Again, today makes 2 years. It is January 9th, 2026. 2 years ago, in Detroit, Michigan, 13-year-old Nasiah Harris was seen at school, supposed to meet monster butts. The text doesn't make sense on the 9th. It just doesn't, considering that she hasn't talked to this man in months. Her last text was, "Hey, these clothes, I'm not gonna be able to handle Jim pregnant. It's beginning to be too much." And nothing else. Nothing else. And we see her getting on the bus after saying she was gonna wait on somebody that she loves. And come on, y'all. It raises questions. The third DNA on her jacket. A lot, Big Mama. Hey, Latasha Jackson. But 13-year-old Nasiah Harris went missing on after January 9th, 2024. Last seen with Jarvis Butts at a shop he owned with Cordell King. They take a trip to Ypsilanti. Come back, count their money. Cordell King leaves to never see Nasiah Harris again. Neither does Jarvis. Switch of cars, timing being off, hotels being checked in and checked out, turning himself in, yet people saying he got picked up. Court dates that just don't make sense. We got a felon walking into court. Hey, I got other matters, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to postpone this. All right, we'll see you on February 7th. Be prepared. We'll give you almost a month. We had a lot of stuff going on the 9th. I still kind of want to see what was said on the 8th. Was it communication with Jarvis and Nasiah after she mentioned her gym clothes and her pregnancy? And it went empty, frozen. Like these two worlds would never exist again. Only for her to have on different clothing. Different clothing. A lot of stuff that raises a lot of questions. And like I said, a lot of them ain't gonna never make sense to us. We'll never get a lot of answers. I feel that way, that we're not gonna get a lot of answers. I want to see a lot of people at the preliminary. Definitely want to see her doctor if she was seen. Definitely her phone matters. Is there a number attached that's going to be brought up in court? I want to see if Shannon knew. If a lot of those messages that was deleted, who deleted them? Will Shannon be charged? Will Annette be charged with negligence? If there is no doctor for Nasiah, just saying if. Just asking questions. Lords, please let what happened in the dark come to the light. We know you can anything but fail. Please watch over us, Heavenly Father, as we go our separate ways. Please. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that. Thank you, Selfmade. Thank you, Sissy. We'll definitely be keeping up with baby Quintani's court. It got switched to Monday, you know what I'm saying? Baby Quintani, I talked about justice for him, and you can go find that video on my YouTube page as well if you want to get caught up with that case of Baby Quintani. Another baby failed by the justice system, not just who deleted them, the police, and figure out when they were deleted. Right, Lola Marie, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We have been waiting on this, and I think Naziah is going to get her justice. I do. At this point, we want Jarvis to play it out. Let him think he has a win. But with prayer and faith, y'all, man, I think this case is going to take a turn. I do. I think it's going to take a turn. And as big as this is, and everybody speaking out, it's to starting the trend, but we have to be persistent. Like Mark D said, thank you, Porsche, thank you, baby. We have to be persistent. We have to stay consistent. And stand behind these families that need us to be their voices with them. Because we can't keep allowing this type of stuff to happen when it comes to ours. We can't. Just a reminder, Jarvis does have court this month on the 23rd. It's the last pretrial, and we can see what's going to be done with this plea. That's what I'm saying. Oh, goddess. Do you think he bought her another phone that nobody... And Ruth, it was said that people speculated that for sure, that maybe he had another set of phones that Shannon and them couldn't see. And, based off of him saying that, y'all got to remember, down the line in this case, Jarvis, interrogations come out. And he said to the detectives, I didn't know who was texting me. To show that his behavior, God's got it all in control. Absolutely defeated. Meaning that sometimes he didn't know, that not that he even cared with his sick ass. He didn't care if it was his kids and which one was calling him. He just knew, I don't know who was texting sometimes. So I let you know that the conversation with him and his children were inappropriate at times. Doctors from the hospital, when she was there in September, when she was there in 2023, when she called Jarvis and told him she got in her period, they need to be in court. I feel Naziah is in the room. I see an orb, spirit, or two on the bottom left side of the screen. Justice for Naziah. And I see the orbs too. And I ain't never seen them before, but I be thinking it's the lighting, girl. I don't be. But Shane did come out the room earlier, y'all, and it was funny. He did his live. He said, babe, I was doing my live, and there was a lot of them flying around today. I said, a lot of what? He was like, a lot of them spirit things, like a lot of them just flying around me today. And I was like, man, I'm already in here shook, sir. I ain't never seen them in your screen. I know I haven't. I don't know. It was like I seen one last night, but I kept putting my hand back there, like, can I touch it or put it through? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it looked like my chair. I could still see a shadow of my chair, but not on the wall, but it was just strange and stuff like that. So I put my hand back there and like, if my hand go through while I'm on live, then I got witnesses that something happened to my ass, okay? He kept the texting going. He didn't try to find out for sure. Right, Kenyatta? She said, take the donkey down, okay? Oh, I love you, her. Sorry, it's okay. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate you. Thank you. Man, self-made. If it is, I hope they're good ones. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I can do. Never say yes, it is. Like, ain't nothing I can really do about it. You know what I'm saying? I just hope they're safe. You know what I'm saying? If they are some good spirits and, we doing whatever we supposed to do by them. That's all I want to say about that. But, man, thank y'all so much for pulling up with me on 2 years to the date that Naziah Hurd, his 13-year-old, went missing in Detroit, Michigan. Still hasn't been found. Still nothing but the monster in jail. with other convictions, other children coming forward saying, hey, this happened to me too. Right, stuff like, and Corey said right, and other victims has came forward in this case saying, yeah, this monster did the same thing to me too. So Naziah is touching other children, and even if they're older, she's still touching their inner child that was traumatized, taken advantage of by Jarvis Butts, as we see through just not Naziah's case, but other cases. And it does happen all over. It is happening all over the world. It's happening here in North Carolina. It's happening in California, Texas, Oregon, Oklahoma, New York, Florida. It's happening everywhere. But this was just one of those cases to show you how corrupt the system will be and could be, how they don't take, when it comes to our black children, their cases, they treat them they just mishandle them so bad to me versus taking a time out. They're still talking about Jack and Lily on channels, looking for Jack and Lily Sullivan. And I want them to find Jack and Lily. I do. I think I touched on it just a little bit, but I do. I want all kids to be recovered, but I want everything to be matched. Even though it's not here in the United States, we still don't see that for our black children. We don't see that search. We don't see that stomp on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Voices to be heard so they can't keep saying, we dropped the ball. We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball. Okay, all over the world and messing with their own daughter sick as fuck. Just like he would be on a live for real. Deborah said everywhere. I love the live. Justice for Naziah. Thank you, Betty. Happy Friday, sister. And you guys go and enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Happy 2026 to those that I didn't get to say that to. Justice for Naziah, justice for her unborn child, justice for all the victims that fell in line behind Naziah, including her siblings. We can't forget she did have a sibling that spoke before her. I mean, Janiyah did. She had a sibling. So we have two of Jarvis's kids saying enough's enough. And we got to pray for Janiyah. We do. This is her father. This story will live on forever. When we dead and gone, this story is going to live on to where she'll see it. And she has to relive this. She does. And she did say it pained her to see this. She did. And I hate that it had to be this way. I do. And the people that work at the police, the teachers, the counselors, are our own black people that purposely don't take the cases serious. Hey, they sweep it under the rug, Lola. You know they protect their own. Just like the CPS workers being protected. Because I would sure love to see her ass. What do y'all consider clean when it comes to essay? Not physical, but when it comes to essay. The child say, no, you don't keep up with it. Y'all just automatically closed it. You get what I'm saying? It be taking years to get simple shit off before they close a case where it's, you know what I'm saying, some simple shit. Hey, Miss Vick, what's going on? Happy Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do a movie about this, but change the characters. It should be. It should be. If they honestly got together and sat Lady down, they got a bestseller. They got one of the best sellers. I'm buying it. But I would need it to be authentic to its core. She said, I don't. It was only a matter of time. Shannon still had crashed out, eventually too jealous of the baby girl, not even the teenager, just, And to think that and this what makes you think that Shannon probably was pregnant. The fact that she lost hers, and hers is gonna be the youngest, and he got the man say. But salute everybody. You guys enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. I will see y'all back tomorrow night at the same time at 8 o'clock. Where it all started for me was late night going into the third shift. You know what I'm saying? 1 and 2 in the morning, sometimes 7 and 8 the next day. But it brought me here with a lot of you guys that wanted the same thing, which is to know what happened to this young lady. All the people that was involved. And it started again making you wonder what happened to her. What happened? What was her environment? Questions. So yeah. Thank you. Will said, salute Miss Parker, great content. Always continue to touch souls and open eyes. Stay woke. God bless you. God bless you, bruh. Thank you for all the kids. Salute Miss Parker for awareness. Thank you, Kippy. Those days was the best. Too many victims that have been violated by them not to have a documentary. I agree, Belinda. I agree. I think her story is already worldwide by everybody of all colors, all nationalities, other countries. And I think it would be good for this generation of children, because I still want those victims that they're trying to take the charge off of Jarvis, that your voice matters. You will always matter. You will always matter. Your story matters to somebody out there that's your age, that needs to be brave just like you. So that's why I hope it keeps going after the trial, and it continues to grow into something to help other victims of all walks of life. This is crazy to me. All should be locked up. The family at night, yes. Good night, everybody. Again, enjoy y'all weekend. Happy 2026 again. I hope so far it's been blessed. For a lot of y'all, someone lost their mother. Prayers to her again. So sorry to hear that. And stuff. It's not easy, and especially trying to start a new year and losing your mother is crazy work. You know what I'm saying? So prayers to you and your family. But to everybody else, is 2026 again can only be what we make it. But I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for what should I call it? Because all the characters hit the board besides Annette and Marquita. Other than that, all the characters hit the board. I'll figure it out, but we're gonna listen to that video and we're gonna talk about it, because again, I wanted to kind of start from the beginning to how we ended up going into one last preliminary, another preliminary, 83 witnesses. He's got 3 on his side. Questions: who are they? Who is on this monster side? And what are they gonna say? What is these witnesses going to say? It has to pertain to the 9th, right? Hey, Yolanda, happy Friday. It has to pertain to the 9th. See, it makes more questions. Who are these 83 people? We finally get to see Officer Gardner. We finally get to hear, did Shannon tell you she deleted? She opened it, or did y'all find out based off of when y'all opened it, y'all seen when it got checked in on? Those are just questions I have based off of what I heard at the preliminary. So many questions. Detective Mays, what was all that talking you was doing to Jarvis only not to jot nothing down? And what? I thought it was something on the shoes, yet y'all said it wasn't nothing on the shoes. And then she said they didn't even test the shoes. I got questions. But again, we'll catch up tomorrow. Justice for Naziah. I hope